Welcome, everybody, to Acts of Kindness, Connecting Through Caring. My name is Debra Lee Fader, and I am your host. I'm glad you're with us today. We have a lot to cover. The topic today is empathy eternally with an empathetic look at life. We have love, hope, and kindness to build upon for our eternal empathy. The topic is so important, especially this month, because this is February. It's the month of love, and we have Valentine's Day, and I think everybody should be your Valentine. We must learn to spread love, hope, and kindness in all directions of our life. We need to learn to communicate with each other, to trust each other, and to bridge the gaps between all of these different cultural barriers that we may have going. And it's not an easy thing to do. It comes from a great deal of strength, and we need to remember that as we work our way through empathetic beauty and wonders of our spiritual selves and ourselves in the reality that we live in today. We are learning lots of lessons, and they're all the same lessons, but we are all learning them in different ways. And you say, what does that mean? Well, what it means is that we all experience life differently, but we learn the same lessons. So here are three things that I want you to know about eternal empathy. We all experience life in different ways. We're all learning the same lessons. Let me say that again. We all experience life in different ways. However, we are all learning the same lessons. I was born in Seattle and then taken home to Richfield, Minnesota. And my parents were, of course, very religious, and I was raised with the Bible, and I had a Catholic background. So I went to Catholic school and all of those things. So, of course, my whole reference is from Jesus, the Son, God the Father, and the Holy Spirit that came to cover us after Jesus' crucifixion. So those are the values I cherish. Also, you may have different values, but keep in mind that we are all learning the same lessons, only in different ways as we grow up and we go through the entire journey of our life. That's a pretty heavy thing to think about right then and there. But think about it and realize that although we're on different journeys, we're learning the same things, but we may be learning them at different times. So we need to be patient with other people no matter what we do. Here's another thing we need to think about. There truly is eternal love, hope, which we always talk about, and kindness. And we are trying to reach these goals of being eternally empathetic with love, hope, and kindness through the inside of ourselves. That's the internal, and the external. The external is the reality that we're facing on a day-to-day basis. And we have to realize that is real. Spirituality is a very serious and all-encompassing part of a human being. Now, when you ignore that, you will find that life is tougher for you, and you will have to go back and repeat during your lifetime here on earth a way to learn about empathy through love, hope, and kindness. So once you've grasped it, then you can move on in your life into other ways. There's another thing I want you to think about. It's about once we've mastered these lessons. If we understand, again, that we are spiritual beings The patience, the love, the hope, and the kindness will be witnessed throughout your lifetime and through the eyes of others. So keep that in mind in all the things that you accomplish in your life. We are looking for ways to understand love, hope, and kindness. And if you don't face love, hope, and kindness, believe me, you cannot leave this plane until you do. You will be thinking about it, praying about it, discussing it when you are about to leave this earth. So I'd like you to think about that. We all are learning the same lessons, just in different ways. And so we need to pretty much, how can I say this? Surrender ourselves to the spiritual side, because that is part of who we are and part of who we will be through all of eternity. I want to tell you a quick story. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, here she goes off into the ethers. And yes, I am going to go there. And these stories are a bit paranormal, but they brought me so much comfort. I must tell you that through my diagnosis with MS and Lyme disease, that I went through many, many trials and errors. Just this past month, for instance, if I become ill in any way, I start to lose my mobility. And this means I'm going to fall and I have to be picked up. And this past month was a very difficult month for me. I had COVID-19 as a recurring illness and also pneumonia at the same time. And I was in our bathroom. Our shower is a glass shower. My husband had remodeled our entire house, and he put in a really nifty full glass shower, and it's gorgeous. I was in the bathroom, and this was halfway through the time period I needed to get well. So it was about in the middle of January. I was in there trying to get ready so that I could come out and try to live my life and enjoy the day. It was a Saturday morning, and I started to lose my balance. I fell backwards. So I was going head first, falling, and I was almost taken off my heels. And I was almost falling into that shower, and I knew that it was behind me because I could see it in the mirror. Pardon me. And what I did, just out of instinct, I called out, "Dad, help me." And I felt these hands lovingly support me and pull me back up into a straight position. And they held me, the hands held me. And I waited, I waited a beat, and I knew instantly that I had been helped by a spiritual entity or two. It could have been angels, it could have been my father, it could have been, but I had called out for Dad. So I, in my mind, believe that my father helped me through that difficult time, because had I fallen into that glass, I probably wouldn't be here today to talk to you about this subject. So that was one time that things have happened. By the way, I lost my dad. It's been almost 2 years now. And while I was ill, I was praying all the time, praying to God, talking to Jesus, talking to the Holy Spirit, talking to my father and to other relatives that had passed on before me. And I would go in and out of a consciousness and a spiritual, I don't know how to call it. It was kind of like having visions. And I would see those people on the other side, just barely, They were outlines, but I knew that they were there to help me through a very, very difficult moment. I believe that I was possibly dying. There is another time in my life when I truly was dying, and I that was when they were trying to diagnose me as to whether I had what kind of debilitating disease I had, because all of the tests were coming out negative. But the sad part was that my doctor, who was an internist, knew that my uh, internal organs, such as my heart, my liver, my kidneys, whatever else there is in there, were actually coming apart. I was starting to dismantle, and I was just laying down praying, and all of a sudden I saw these really small angels. They were about 3 inches big, and they were floating all around me, and they were flapping their little wings and using their hands to brush away um, something on the spiritual side that only they could see, to try to brush it away from me and to make me feel better. And then we went to the doctor, and that was when we found out that I tested positive for Lyme disease. And then I was able to get on some medication to at least help me upon my journey so that I could possibly walk again. It was a very, very difficult time in my life. And, but I did see angels. And I know I'll go to my grave knowing that I have witnessed these paranormal experiences, and I will never deny them. And should those things happen to you, don't deny them. People need that hope. They need to know that there's something on the other side. So the key takeaways from today's program is that we must remember we are all on the same path. We will learn the same lessons, but we will experience these lessons in our life differently and at different times. So we need to be patient with the other people in our lives, because they're on the same journey we are. They just are possibly at a different level, maybe at a beginners or beginning level, or they are possibly further along in their journey and understand more than we do. So there's always something to learn from another person in your life. So please be patient and just shower them with love, hope, and kindness. And you will experience your empathy in reality on this side, and it will help you on the other side. You will be eternally empathetic. Here's how you can reach me. I'm at queenofkindness.org, and I invite you to check out the website and sign up for my 12 ebooks. I do not bombard you with emails. I hate that when it happens to me. So you will only receive something once a month from me, and it will be an ebook, and I hope that you will enjoy it and learn from it. So I'm Debra Lee Fader. I'm the Queen of Kindness. I want to thank you so much for listening and watching me today. It's very important that we develop our relationship and we develop our trust so that we can always help others with love, hope, and kindness. I can't wait to talk to you again. Bye-bye.